I don't be chasing the clock. Swear to God, that clock be chasing me, though. 60 seconds after midnight, and you know what that means. Why don't you go to the fridge and get out a chill glass? Mix yourself one of them clean, creamy Crystal Head vodka martinis. Take a sip, chill, sit back. Let us do the rest. If you're wondering who we are your tour guides through the real, the weird, and everything in between. The show for Street Philosophers by Street Philosophers. I'm your host, Santango, and this is Night Owls. Season 1, Episode 1, brought to you by csantana.com. Videos, photographies, weddings, headshots, family events. You got a professional project, you need that personal touch, you got to see Santana. That's SEESANTANA.com. We're going to leave the link down below so you can reach out. Without further ado, we're at that point in the show where I got to ask, what the hell is going on in the world? All right, what is in the news? All right, well, look, I think that every country and every culture and certainly every era has their fads, right? The little popular fads and shit that they go through. And the only reason I'm bringing up this particular story is A, you know, I'm a fan of weird shit. And B, it actually reminded me of something that I saw when I was younger. I think this was like an Oprah show back in the like early 90s or the late 80s or something like that. And they had, you know those shows where they got like the really bad fucking kids, like the ones that they like smack their grandmother in the face and they're like 12 years old and they're out like gangbanging and shit, you know. And they did like this on this particular show, they did like a mock funeral, like this staged funeral, and they had like family members come over and they put the kid in the coffin and all that, and it seemed to have, for the most part, it seemed to have like a real, you know, cathartic experience. It was like a cathartic experience for these kids, right? And that's the reason, because this particular thing that's happening now kind of reminded me of that, and I was like, oh shit, now I'm gonna talk about this. Now out in Korea, it seems like there's something that's catching on. It started out as some publicity stunt for some funeral home, but the shit actually caught on. People say that, you know, I guess it's a therapeutic thing. I don't think it's certainly not for entertainment, you know. And people are really divided on this, as you can imagine, and shit. And look, hey, I see both sides of it, right? I understand both sides, even though I'm leaning more towards let them do this shit. But if someone came up to me and said, hey man, this is some morbid shit, like, why the hell would you want to put yourself in a coffin? Unless you're fucking Count Dracula, you ain't got no business being in a coffin and shit. And hey, look, man, I feel you. Why would you want to call those vibes around you? You know what I'm saying? I get you, man. You know what I'm saying? It's weird shit. I get you. But on the other hand, and I'm guilty of this myself, I think that we really do take for granted just how fleeting life is and how precious it is and how lucky we are just to be here, just to be alive. We get so caught up in all the fucking bullshit of life that we just forget, motherfucker, you alive. Which makes me think that, hey man, after the show I'm gonna step outside, take a fresher breath air, and just appreciate the fact that I'm here, you know, because so many people aren't. And if it takes a mock funeral to put people in the state of mind to be in that attitude of gratitude, then, hey, more power to you, man. Do that shit. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying? And everybody else, you know, hey, you don't have to do that shit. You know, maybe you can get introspective all on your own. Speaking of which, just to describe the scene to you, it's exactly what you would think it is. You know what I'm saying? They put you in a coffin. Your friends and family come over. Your best friend does the eulogy and shit. That girl from sophomore year in high school that wouldn't give you the time of day is all crying and shit about how she should have gave you ass, and you know, and all that's going on, and you're in there laying in the coffin, all, you know, being introspective about your life and shit. So, you know, hey, look, I'll tell you what. Why don't you comment down below? You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you guys think of that whole situation. Do you think that this is something that's legitimately therapeutic and that it might be beneficial to certain people? Or do you just think this is some weird morbid shit? Let me know, man. Now, on this show, we're big supporters of underground artists, underground art, music, poetry, film. And we do a little thing called the Creator of the Week. This week, the spotlight's going to be on Maggie L, a.k.a. Miss Magical. She's a beautiful, soulful singer coming out of New England. We're gonna put the link down below so you can check out. So you go ahead now, you turn down them lights, turn them way down low, nice and warm light. Take another sip of that eggnog. That's gotta be spiked with that Crystal Head, of course. And just enjoy the music. This is Miss Magical with Creativity. I will see you guys after the break. Sinclair, take us out, baby.
1, 2, 3, 4. Hit the ground running, know what wise man say. Get one down in the second one you hear, but you front too much. Front too much, boy, and you ain't seen much. Been reading from the early days. You might look around for another game to play, but you talk too much. Talk too much, boy, and you ain't seen much. And you only something if you ain't done something. Turn around and tell me that you feel no shame. And you only something if you ain't changed something. Turn around and tell me that you're still the same. I thought it was all for nothing. The thought on the view was nothing but 'cause I'm never gonna make it here anyway. If I thought like you would be the same, turn around and tell you what a shooting ain't the gun. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. Now, I don't wanna tell you about a girl with dreams, but there's all that seems to be that's left of me these days it seems. Stepping on my life like it's pulling from the seams, and suddenly I look up like I wonder who's to blame. And I know that my mom's an issue. Wanna go insane, don't stop, continue. Never had a meal without a deal or write a plan, but that's the chance I took when I put life in my hands. And this one for them haters that don't talk the place of raiders. Do you think of little girls when you driving them Mercedes? And this one for them hating type that talking shit but living right. You think I ain't got cred like I chose this for my bed? I thought it was all for nothing. The thought on the view was nothing but 'cause I'm never gonna make it here anyway. If I thought like you would be the same, turn around and tell you what a shooting ain't the gun. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. I'm never gonna make it here anyway. Smoke don't blow. Smoke don't blow. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire, fire, fire. Smoke don't blow from a wise man's fire. Smoke don't blow, shots don't blow.
That was Miss Magical with Creativity. Girl got pipes. Next week we're gonna be featuring the music of Red Rebel from United Soul Alliance. Looking forward to that. As always, if you like what you heard, you know we're gonna leave Miss Magical's link down there so you can check out more music. And you know show your support. Now we're in that sweet spot between Christmas and New Year's, right? And you know me, I like weird shit. And always real and weird, nothing fugazi here and stuff. So, true story. We got this 11-year-old boy in Ohio. He wakes up in the middle of the night. Well, I'm not sure if it was the middle of the night, but I guess he's chilling up in his room, and you know he gets disturbed by the TV blaring. So you know he comes out of his room. Now, mind you, it's the second week of November, okay? And they haven't put up any decorations. His mom's at work and shit. He's home alone. You know, it's that Macaulay Culkin shit, right? So, anyhow, he goes to check out to see what's going on. And he sees his entire house has been decked out with Christmas decorations and shit that weren't there, you know what I'm saying, just a couple hours ago. He goes downstairs, and what does he find? 44-year-old Terry Trent. Just some 44-year-old dude sitting down in the living room, lounging. He's got a candle lit in the middle of the coffee table, watching TV. Easy breezy, right? So the kid's like, who the fuck are you? Well, the guy gets up, says, hey, my apologies. I didn't mean to scare you. I will be collecting my things and I will go. And he just broke the fuck out. Now, of course, the kid's freaked out. He calls his mom. His mom's freaked out. She calls the cops. They catch the dude. Turns out the dude was on bath salts. Now, I don't know if that's still a thing, but you guys remember bath salts, right? Like that one dude in Florida who ate that other dude's face and all that wild shit. So, you know, one dude thought he was a zombie and the other dude thought he was Santa Claus or some shit. But you know what I'm saying? It brings up the whole thing about the war on drugs again. You know, and for those of you who know me, this is like one of the subjects I'm keen on getting into it about. Because here we got this thing, right? We got this bath salts thing or whatever, which, like I said, I don't even know if that's still a thing, but it does bring this up. We got this like synthetic drug that's perfectly legal. You know what I'm saying? Like through whatever legal loopholes or whatever, but it's perfectly legal. You know what I'm saying? And people are buying that, and they're like biting people's faces off and randomly, you know, putting up Christmas decorations in strangers' houses and shit. Oh shit! You know what? I shouldn't laugh because that's a scary situation. You know what I'm saying? To have your child at home, to have an 11-year-old at home, and you know, find a stranger in his living room and shit. But you know what? It could have been worse and shit. I just, you know, that's a whole different thing. That goes to human nature. Like what was the psychology behind this dude, you know, when he was tweaking? What was this motherfucker thinking? Like, I gotta go out and spread that Christmas spirit, man. I gotta do it. I gotta fucking do it. But that's a whole other thing. But that dude, you know, he bought that shit. It was a legal thing, and yet you have other things that are illegal, that, you know, done responsibly, doesn't cause, you know, half this fucking chaos and destruction and death and craziness and shit. You know, I mean, just like that synthetic weed that they got out there, that K9 or Spice or K12 or whatever the fuck it is. You know, like, people have died of that shit, right? Like, I've certainly seen a lot of reports of people having cardiac issues and popping up in the ER because of that shit. And they were selling that shit like if it was potpourri or incense or some shit, right? So that was perfectly legal. You know, that shit was fucking killing motherfuckers, you know. And yet, you know, there's a lot of places that you can still get arrested for smoking a joint. That's some crazy shit. You know what? This shit brings another story to mind, and I wasn't even planning on talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want this to be just the drug show where, you know, every episode I gotta talk about drugs and shit. But yeah, this shit just reminded me of a real crazy ass story about how illegal drugs saves lives, right? We got this dude, damn, and I forgot the dude's name, and I think I don't know if I saw this on Reddit or where I saw this shit, man. But anyway, this cat, man, he's going through it. You know, he's really going through it, and he feels like he's gonna check out. Fuck it. So, you know, he gets his money together. You know, he stacks his chips, goes out to Mexico, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna buy a bunch of like barbiturates, you know, sedatives, and a bottle of tequila, and I'm just gonna fall asleep, and that's gonna be the end of it, you know. But while he's there, you know, he says to himself, you know what, if this is gonna be my last, you know, night, my last day on earth, my last night on earth, then I might as well fucking live it up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get fucking mad cocaine. I'm gonna get weed and liquor and hookers and a hotel room, and I'm just gonna fucking go in. And at the end of everything, you know, I'll fucking do, you know, I'll take care of business. So he does that. And at the end, I don't know if this was like $4,000 or $5,000 later, you know, 2-3 days later, He emerges out of this like a phoenix out of the fucking ashes. And he had such a great time. He enjoyed himself so much doing all that fucking blow and smoking them blunts and getting busy with them hookers and shit. Now, look, I'm not saying that shit is cool. You understand what I'm saying? I just find humor in the irony of the situation. The guy goes to Mexico to kill himself, and at the end of this crazy binge, he wants to live. He's like, oh, no, I want to live. And the dude's never, you know what I'm saying? This was years ago. The dude's never, done any of that crazy shit since or anything like that. But it took that experience to shake my man out of his suicidal depression. So take that to the Surgeon General and shit. Fuck that. Yo, let's make t-shirts. Yo, Sinclair, let's make t-shirts. We're gonna make t-shirts, Drugs Save Lives. Where I'll rock that shit. All right, it's getting close to the witching hour. I'm already getting the black light. Time to wrap up. Good looking out for liking, for subscribing. Please be safe. Keep it peace. Treat people how you want to be treated. You have a good night. We will be seeing you next week. Oh, Cash, get better.